Okay guys, we've got a boatload of new releases coming out and I'm going to talk to you about them here in today's video. Are you excited for any fragrances that you heard about? Or is there something that has just launched that I spoke about recently in a similar video that you were able to pick up and you're enjoying a lot? Let me know. Let us know what it is. Do add a comment below. But yes, today we're talking about new fragrances on the horizon. Some of these might have come out. Some of these are on the horizon. Some are just announced. So we'll see when they land how they smell. Before I talk about the fragrances though, guys, if you haven't heard about it yet, we are having ScentFest SF take place here in San Francisco. It's a new consumer-focused fragrance fair, fragrance trade show, and it's happening on June 26, 27, and 28. And I would love to see you guys here and present here at the show. And it's happening around other fragrance and beauty related events in the area. There's a World Perfumery Congress happening in Monterey just before our show, and the Business of Beauty Global Forum in Napa Valley just before, but one day crossover with their show as well. But our show is taking place at the Fort Mason overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, and the San Francisco Bay. So we'd love to see you guys here and discover awesome fragrances from niche houses and meet the folks behind some of the brands that are exhibiting and participate in really awesome fragrance related experiences throughout the show. So tickets are now selling. I have a link in the info box. Click there and get your tickets and plan your travel to San Francisco. It is also around the World Cup, which is also doing some events here locally as well. And so you guys might combine, ScentFest. Maybe you want to go to World Perfumery Congress if you're in the industry, and a few other events as well. So get your tickets right away, plan your trip, and I'll see you guys here at ScentFest SF. And now let's move on to the fragrances. So the fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about, first one is just been announced. I don't think there's any notes breakdown for it, but Tom Ford is releasing a new fragrance called Modern Tropic. What would that be? What could that be or smell like? Anybody have any idea on the notes breakdown? I couldn't find it personally, so they're going to be to be determined is what I wrote down. So we'll see what that's all about. But what was the last great fragrance you got from Tom Ford? I do have Taormina Orange that I did a video on, so you'll see it soon if it hasn't already aired. I'm enjoying it. It wasn't breaking any new ground, but I think they did a really great job. It did remind me a little bit of Bergamot 22 from Le Labo, but I love that kind of a freshie. I don't consider it to be some of my all-time favorite fragrances, but I generally do like fresh citrusy style fragrances. So that's been, something that launched recently from the house, and I'm looking forward to checking out Modern Tropic. So let's move on to the house of Ella K. They have a new fragrance called MYRRH coming after Amber K, which is awesome. I love it. Amber K, maybe Amber K. They also launched Camellia K. They launched Musk K and Orchid K. Are there any other Ks from the house? Ella K is the brand, so I think they're capitalizing the K from the Ella K brand. So MYRRH is created by Sonia Constant over at Givaudan, and she is the perfumer for all of the fragrances of Ella K. And MYRRH features notes of sesame, woodsy notes, cedar, vanilla, honey, almonds, halva, dates, sugarcane, pomegranate, mandarin, jasmine, frangipani, rose, saffron, tonka, and myrrh. Myrrh is the key note, and I'm surprised to see halva, which I'm addicted to. I love them. I don't eat them all the time, but I love the flavor. So this seems like a sesame-focused, myrrh amber-focused fragrance, because sesame and halva is sesame-focused as well. So I'm looking forward to get my nose on this. So see if it's a gourmand style, or because there's also honey and vanilla. So it seems like it's sort of a gourmand amber resinous myrrh focused fragrance. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is RADANFOR, which I did shoot a video on, but I haven't aired it yet, or maybe it has aired just before this. This is a new fragrance created by Julien Rasquinet, and it is awesome, guys. Really, really awesome. You're going to want to check it out ASAP. And to me, it's kind of like a elevated and updated take on something like the DNA of Baby Cat, because you have the spices in there, like the peppery notes. You've got the smoky incensey notes like olibanum. There's also myrrh in this as well, and there's the vanilla. So this is kind of sort of in that kind of a ballpark. But what's unique about this one is the Iris Oris and the Orange Blossom. It adds a brightness. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of like taking Baby Cat, marrying it with Reflection Man. And also, when I was shooting the video, I thought to myself, oh my God, now I know what this is reminding me of. It reminds me a little bit of Le Mal. No, sorry, not Le Mal, but Fleur de Mal from Jean-Paul Gaultier. Because I was getting kind of like Fougère vibes from this. And I remember Fleur de Mal gave me Fougère vibes because it was basically an evolution of Le Mal. but it was overdosed with orange blossom. And since RADANFOR has orange blossom, that's what it's reminding me of. It's not identical, it just gives me those vibes, but RADANFOR is really, really awesome. You guys got to check it out. I love it. It's a great one. And I think right now, after what they launched last year, the brand LOUMARI with Aomok and Amber Malatia, between the three, I think RADANFOR is top notch. You got to get your nose on it. So check it out and maybe go catch my video on it, review on it, and try and find a bottle because I find it to be super awesome. Now let's talk about Mancera's MOCHI Musk. MOCHI Musk is a new fragrance from Mancera. I hope it's a good one. And it features notes of brown sugar, pistachio, rice powder, iris, pistachio ice cream, vanilla, ambergris, tonka beans, and musk. I'm hoping it's going to be as good as a few of the recent fragrances from the house, like Tonka Cola and a few others that have been really great. I like the idea of musky notes with gourmand notes. So let's see what Mancera is going to do with MOCHI Musk. If you've gotten your nose on any of these fragrances, let us know what you think about them. All right, we've got a new one from Montale. It's called CEDRAT LOVA, L-O-V-A. So are you a fan of CEDRAT? It's kind of like a lemony citrus note. So this seems like it's going to be a citrus-focused offering featuring bergamot, lemons, ginger, citron, Cambodian oud, Jasminum auriculatum, Mysore sandalwood, ambergris, Brazilian tonka, Cuban tobacco, oak moss. Going to be a more deep, intense take on a citrus with oud and some really intense notes. So let's see how this is going to be. CEDRAT LOVA doesn't really, well, after reading the notes to you guys, it doesn't really sound like it's going to be focusing on CEDRAT. Maybe the stronger notes are, less and the citruses are more intense. We shall see. But this sounds like it's going to be more of an intense offering rather than a fresh citrus offering. But let's move on to the next fragrance. It's Xerjoff's Tempio d'Acqua. And this is, I believe, a fragrance we sampled in the video I did with Sergio in Cannes in October of last year. So I believe this one was announced and announced making the debut. And it features notes of peach, mandarin orange, bergamot, fennel, mahonial, cistus, ambroxan, vanilla, and myrrh. I believe this is part of the Casa Murati collection as well. It comes in one of those bottles. And for me, the best when I was there was Gibeon. Even comparing this, Gibeon was top notch. For me, I'm a big fan of Gibeon. I don't remember this one that much. I have to sample it again. But I remember reacting to it, but not as awesome as Gibeon, because Gibeon was super awesome. But we'll check it out again. Tempio d'Acqua is launching from Xerjoff. If you've gotten your nose on it, let us know. Now let's move on to a fragrance that keeps cranking out flankers. Is this like the 1000th flanker for this fragrance? It's Armani's Acqua di Gio pour Homme. Acqua di Gio pour Homme, Eau de Parfum Intense. I mean, how many more flankers of this thing are they going to produce? And all of them are by Alberto Morillas, because he loves doing these marine aquatic fragrances. Yeah, I used to be a fan. I like a few of the flankers. I started wearing the line in 97, and they've been cranking them out since 96. So how many more flankers is Armani or L'Oreal going to do on these? So it features notes of apples, bergamot, citruses, aquatic notes, clary sage, iodinol, patchouli, and amber wood. Now, I do have to say the elixir was not as good as I thought it was going to be. So that was a bummer for me. But let's see how this one is in comparison to the 100 other flankers that exist of this fragrance. If you've got your nose on it, let us know. And if you're a fan of the line, let us know why do you love them and why do you keep buying all the flankers. All right, now Fragrance du Bois has a brand new flanker of one of their, I think, more popular offerings called Lucius. Now they're launching a fragrance called Lucius Maximus. I've sampled Lucius. I liked it. I have to keep sampling it to see if it grows on me or if it's something that's just a like. But Lucius Maximus sounds much more deeper. It has notes of bergamot, bitter orange, mandarin orange, pink pepper, cedar wood, coffee, Georgie wood, mahonial, orange blossom, akigala wood, bourbon vanilla, cypriol, vetiver, and tonka. Sounds like they're working with somebody over at Givaudan. Georgie wood, akigala wood, mahonial are proprietary ingredients of Givaudan. So they haven't posted the perfumer on it, but I mean, from the likes of these notes, they are, or maybe somebody is using them, I don't know. But I'm curious to see what they've done to Lucius in the version of Lucius Maximus. What do you guys think of the name? Let me know. Add a comment below. Now I'm going to talk to you about 3 new offerings from Giardini di Toscana. They disappeared for a while. What happened to them? Like, the last fragrance they launched was the tuberose offering. Oh no, was it a marine one? I think it was the marine one. And after that, I think they disappeared for a while. And then now they're back with 3 new offerings. The fragrances are created by Silvia Martinelli. And the first one I'm talking about is Respiro. And it features notes of bergamot, blackberry, cashmere, clary sage, lavender, ambergris, iris, oak moss, patchouli, and vanilla. Does it sound great to you? Are you a fan of Giardini di Toscana? I think they'll always be known for Bianco Latte, and I'm a fan of Bianco Latte, but let's see what these fragrances are all about. The next one is called Ricordami. Once again, Silvia Martinelli is the perfumer. We've got bergamot, fig leaves, galbanum, lemons, orange, aquatic notes, blackcurrant, coconut, lily of the valley, magnolia, honeydew melon, ambergris, ambrette, benzoin, cedar, oak moss, and vetiver. The honeydew lemon, I was going to say honeydew melon kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that note in fragrances. So this one, even though it's a fig fragrance, I think they've thrown in the honeydew melon in there to give it a slight marine edge and a fruitiness, but I don't quite like that note. So we shall see. Do these sound great to you guys? Let me know. Add a comment below. And then the last fragrance is called Oro e Miele. I think that's how you say it. Is that referring to honey? It's Italian, obviously. It's almond blossoms, heliotrope, rose, coconut, honey, vanilla, benzoin, cedarwood, iris, sandalwood, tonka beans, and white musk. This one sounds the most gourmand, and let's see what they've done with it. I'm curious to get my nose on him, and let's see if I'm going to be able to get my nose on them anytime soon until they come here to the States, and then we'll get my nose on them there. Let's move on to the House of Dolce & Gabbana. Now we've got 2 offerings from the light blue collection. First of which is light blue for the ladies, and this is in Eau de Parfum concentration, and it's created by Olivier Cresp, and it's featuring lemons, frangipani, amber notes, and woods. So have they changed the original and to update it for the Eau de Parfum? I'm not 100% sure, but in this series, I find the original for the ladies a bit more enjoyable than the men's. The men's is too marine for me. Once again, it's Alberto Moria's. And the original for the ladies reminds me a little bit of the one from Creed, the garden one, I'm forgetting the Jardin, I think it's called Jardin d'Amalfi. I think that's the one that the original light blue reminds me of. Now, the original light blue has apples in the notes. This one doesn't, so I think it's changed around a bit. So we shall see. And then the next one is for the guys. It's the Pour Homme. Once again, Pour Homme Eau de Parfum, created by Alberto Moria's. It's yellow mandarin, bergamot, grapefruit, cardamom, marine notes, cypress, juniper berries, ambroxan, cedar, and patchouli. Yeah, I don't care for this collection whatsoever in the men's. And I only care for like the original light blue for the ladies because it does remind me of Jardin d'Amalfi from Creed, but I don't go around wearing it too much. I kind of prefer the Creed, but the light blue for the ladies in EDT, I think is a great alternative for that very expensive Creed fragrance, if they still make it. But let me know if you're a fan of this collection, either for the ladies or for the guys. Add a comment below. Let's move on to Jean Varvatos next. He's got a new fragrance called Artisan Costillero, and it features notes of marine notes, akigala wood, mandarin orange, lemons, yuzu, nectarine, karma floor, moss, patchouli. Originally, I think a lot of the fragrances of Jean Varvatos were being created by Rodrigo Flores Roux over at Gévaudan. This one sounds like it's a Gévaudan as well, so most likely he's creating fragrances for them still. It's a marine fragrance, not my favorite style. I just wanted to highlight it. What's become of the line? For me, both of the 2 that I really liked from the house, well, I liked the Oud, but I liked Dark Rebel and Dark Rebel Rider. Those were really, really great, I think, from the Jean Varvatos line, but those got discontinued really quickly. And I don't know what happened to Jean Varvatos. I don't know what conglomerate they were under before. I believe now they're under Revlon. Let me know if that's correct. I believe that's what I recall. All right, we're going to the House of Byredo next. This is Sister Dreamer. So apparently this is a USA only exclusive. It comes in a most decked out and colorful bottle, and it's also a limited edition. So exclusively selling in the USA, limited edition. Not sure why they're doing that, but I guess they're doing it. If that's not correct information, let me know, guys. That's what I read online. But it's pink pepper, Turkish rose, geranium, freesia, amber woods, healing wood, sandalwood, juniper berries, and frankincense. It seems like a rose amber focused fragrance, and the fact that they also have geranium in there, they're bringing out the rosiness in combining it with the rose. It's a spicy one. Is it like a Chypre style? It's more like an ambery kind of a rose spicy offering. So let's see what that one's all about. It doesn't sound like too exciting for me, but I wanted to highlight it because the bottle is so out there for a Byredo that does mostly minimalistic bottles, and they've got this like super colorful decked out bottle. Anyway, the next fragrance and the last fragrance until I get to the bonus options, and you're going to want to definitely not miss out on the bonus offerings as well. It's a collection of fragrances from one small house that I don't talk about much on the channel, but at one time I respected quite a bit. But let's talk about the last fragrance here. It's L'Artisan's Fables d'Orient, L'Extrait. So it's Christophe Reynaud, the perfumer, and it's aldehydes, amber, and incense. So why are the brands doing this particular ambery, incensey, aldehydic kind of fragrances? Didn't Dior do New Look? They changed New Look 1947, and that's kind of what they gave us. This kind of sounds similar to me, but I don't know. The notes might be very similar. The smell could be completely different. This is also a Gévaudan perfumer. It's Christophe Reynaud over at Gévaudan. I do like some of his creations for sure. I'm curious to get my nose on this, and I'm heading to France soon, so I'll check it out over there. Hopefully it's launched. But that's the last fragrance I'm talking about here today in the regular section of the video. Let me know your thoughts on these offerings. Are you excited for any of these, or are you gonna skip out on all of these? There must be something you're excited about, whether it's something here in this list or something that I've already spoken about or I haven't spoken about. So do add a comment and let us know what you're excited about, or you're just getting bored of fragrances, you're gonna not buy any of them. I'm excited for some of these, but we'll see if I really end up liking any of them to have or own. But let me know your thoughts on the fragrances. Thank you so much for watching this video. Oh, and don't forget ScentFest SF, guys. I have it linked in the info box. I hope to see you here. We are building a really great show. 3 days of fragrance and fun. And again, great views right on the water. If your nose gets tired, you can go right outside and cleanse your palate with the sea air and come back and do a lot more sampling and, you know, fragrance experiences. But yeah, check out ScentFest SF. It's linked in the info box. Thank you for watching. Please give a like to this video. Give a thumbs up so it helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. All right, we're talking about the house of Jacques Bogart. Who's familiar with this house? So Jacques Bogart is launching several fragrances in a collection called Bogart Collection. So if you know Jacques Bogart, they used to launch such beast mode offerings, a lot of old school style fragrances, and I can't believe that they're launching a new collection of really nice, luxurious looking collection of fragrances. And the other thing that's good about Jacques Bogart is that they always end up at the discounters, and they're highly, highly discounted. So the fragrances of this series are mostly done with Céline Burel of IFF, but there's also one fragrance by Julien Rasquinet and a few others from another perfumer. I'm forgetting the name. I'll let you know what it is here as soon as I start talking about them. Both from CPL Aromas. Céline Burel is at IFF. Julien and I think it's Dominique Preysas. They're both at CPL Aromas. So I'm quite excited for these fragrances. I was a big fan of the Jacques Bogart fragrances. I remember them from the 70s and 80s. And beast mode powerhouse men's classic style fragrances. And they've kind of kept similar until, like, most recently they've gone to ouds and things like that in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And I've been waiting for them to launch a new collection or something new, and they've got this collection. But I should also say, one time I was traveling in the Brittany region of France, and I was in a city called Dinan, D-I-N-A-N. And, you know, I'm always looking for perfumes, and this was probably 10 years ago. And I stumbled onto a perfume shop, and it was not like your typical Sephora or Marionnaud or Nocibe. It was a bit more mom and pop, but it didn't seem like a mom and pop store. It was more like an actual chain, but different than others. And they had this gigantic wall of Jacques Bogart fragrances, and I've never experienced them that many in one store. And I was kind of like a kid in a candy store because, like I said, when I see things that I've never seen, I get excited and I wanted to check them out. And again, people love them for their potency and intensity, and also their old school qualities. So I don't know if these are going to be old school style. We shall see, but I'm quite curious and excited about them. If you've gotten your nose on them, let us know. As soon as I can get my nose on these, I will report on them. They'll probably be launched a little higher than normal. And I think once they end up at the discounters, they'll be very, very affordable and cheap to buy. And so let's get started with the list of fragrances. First fragrance by Jacques Bogart is called Amber Vanilla. This is created by Celine Burrell, and it's featuring notes of amber, vanilla, rum, patchouli, oud, bergamot, gaiac wood, saffron, styrax. So this one sounds super duper awesome for me. This is one of the ones I really want to get my nose on. I do enjoy Celine Burrell's creations. Here and there, she's done fragrances for Aesop, Electimus London. Did she do anything for Amouage? Anyway, her name comes up here and there. So Amber Vanilla is the one that I'm looking forward to. The fact that it has rum, so it's a boozy take on Amber Vanilla style of fragrance. It sounds great to me. All right, next we've got Jacques Bogart Neroli Cedar. Now this one, it's okay. It's not like super exciting for me, but I wouldn't say no to smelling it. I like the idea. And most likely it's a freshie with the cedar being the base note and the more prominent base note. But up top, we're looking at kind of a citrus floral experience with the neroli. But this is Celine Burrell once again, and it features notes of cedarwood, neroli, cashmeran, gaiac wood, bergamot, lily of the valley, musk, patchouli, petitgrain. The fact that it has the lily of the valley, green floral, petitgrain, the leaves of the bitter orange tree, green citrus. We've got a kind of a green leaning woody citrus fragrance. This one does sound good actually, now that I think about it, and I can't wait to get my nose on it. But the fact that the citruses are meshed with lots of woods does kind of go boring, but it also has patchouli and it has musk, so it must be exciting. Anyway, we'll look forward to Neroli Cedar from Jacques Bogart. As soon as I can get my nose on it, I will report back. So next we've got Jacques Bogart's Oud Coffee. So this is Dominique Presas. He's the perfumer at CPL Aromas, and it's featuring notes of oud, coffee, geranium, rose, vanilla, bergamot, patchouli, and tangerine. I think I could get used to this. Depends on the kind of oud. I don't think it would be animalic, although Jacques Bogart has been known to do animalic fragrances back in the 70s and 80s, but we are in the 2020s, so I don't think it's going to be animalic. And the fact that it's kind of gourmandesque with the coffee, I think it's probably very wearable. So this one's exciting. I'm not the biggest fan of oud. I've gotten bored of it, but I'm looking forward to getting my nose on it, especially since it does have those gourmand touches. Let me know if oud coffee sounds exciting to you. Add a comment below. Now let's talk about the next fragrance created by Julien Rasquinet. I think this is the only one he's done, and it's Rose Leather. And I think Julien does good work with leather, and leather, rose, raspberry, saffron, amberwood, geranium, ginger, and sandalwood. I think this one is a bit boring sounding to me. And remember I mentioned how great RADANFOR is. I think I'm a little bored of, I don't know, leather, this combo of leather, saffron, Middle Eastern style leaning. And again, it sounds boring on paper, but it could smell like the best thing I've ever smelled. So I don't give up. I always get my nose on it, and then I'll decide, yeah, it did sound boring and it smells boring. But then it could be like, oh my God, it sounded so boring, but it smells so amazing. So it could be some kind of a situation like that. But on paper, to me, it's not so exciting like the first one. And even the Neroli Cedar sounds pretty exciting to me. So Rose Leather from Jacques Bogart, does it sound exciting to you? Let me know, add a comment below. All right, next we've got from Jacques Bogart, Santal Fig. And this combo has been done quite a bit as well. This is Celine Burrell once again. She's done the majority of the fragrances in this collection, but this combo, sandalwood and fig, sounds like diptyque or something else. But maybe it's different. We shall see. Fig, sandalwood, carrot seeds, cedarwood, cardamom, bergamot, musk. So it's going to be ultra powdery. The fact that it has the carrot seeds, because they can replicate the idea of orris or iris. So it sounds like it's going to be a very powdery, woody, green offering. I'm a big fan of the smell of figs, so it could be great. But for me, off the top, it sounds a bit boring, but I'll decide once I get my nose on it. But if you've gotten your nose on it, let us know, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are. Next up from the Jacques Bogart collection is Vetiver Violet. Now, this one sounds pretty exciting to me. This is created by Dominique Presas. It's Vetiver, Violet, Petitgrain, Cedarwood, Galbanum, Bergamot, Geranium, Oak Moss, and Daffodil. So this is the thing. Sometimes when they say violet, they're actually using maybe a combination of violet and violet leaves. This one does sound like it's green leaning with the galbanum and the petitgrain. So daffodil also has a greenish quality to it, even though it's a yellow flower. Actually, now that I've thought about this one sounds really, really exciting to me. I can't wait to get my nose on this Vetiver Violet from Jacques Bogart because of the galbanum, being a big fan of it. and the feature of daffodil with the petitgrain. And the main notes are vetiver and violet. So yeah, this one sounds pretty exciting. What do you guys think? Does it sound great to you as well? Do add a comment below. And the last fragrance in this collection, I would say, is Absinthe Lavender. This is Celine Burrell once again. And Absinthe, Lavender, Elemi, Lavandin, Bergamot, Cardamom, Incense, Patchouli, and Tonka. Yeah, this one sounds like a really nice, modern, updated fougere with the absinthe note. It is reminding me a little bit of the idea of Absinthe Boreal from the house of Maison Crivelli. So there is that kind of a thing going for it, because that's also kind of a cool, crisp, icy, modern fougere. This kind of sounds a little bit like that, although this does seem like it's a bit deeper, because Absinthe Boreal is very fresh and clean and not super dense. This fragrance, Absinthe Lavender, sounds like it's going to be a bit deeper and richer and more intense. So I can't wait to get my nose on it, is what I should be saying. But I'm excited for this collection. I've been a fan of the brand, although I don't speak a lot about it. I think their fragrances do tend to smell a bit old schoolish. And, you know, I'm happy to do a video on the house, because, you know, their fragrances are super, super cheap. If you buy any of their classics that are still selling, you probably get them for like $20 to $25, sometimes even cheaper than that. But very old school style fragrances. I'm happy to do a video on the line and you guys can discover the fragrances, but maybe I should wait until this collection is available and I can pick up. But let me know your thoughts on this collection from Jacques Bogart. Let me know if you're a fan of any of their fragrances. Do add a comment below so we can find out what you like. The one that I think everybody knows is One Man Show. I think that's been around for a long time and it's a bit old school masculine style powerhouse, but there's a lot of others that I have that we can do a video on. But yeah, let me know what your favorites are from the house of Jacques Bogart. What do you like the sound of in this new collection? Add a comment below and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.